Welcome to Season 3 of Trap Talk.
Brought to you by Craigoff, the choice of champions.
All right, folks, we got to take a quick second and give a huge shout out to our title sponsor, Craigoff. Me and Ricky both shoot them. We both love them.
Yeah, best gun in the industry. I shoot them. I sell them. Nothing better, folks. Get yourself a Craigoff. Your scores will increase.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's got hundreds and hundreds of hundreds with his. I mean, I've got a few hundreds, but I'm always working to get a little bit better, and they definitely help me, that's for sure. So on top of that, we also got to thank Winnig. I'm wearing the shirt today. Love this shirt. If you're down at the Grand, pick one up.
Yeah, Winnig, like I said, Zach, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with my Winnig stock. You know, get a hold of Bobby, Luke, Bill, get an appointment set up. They will make you a better shooter with that Winnig stock.
Of course, yeah. The Grand's the great place to do it. Give them a call. Get on their book. It's worth your time.
Just remember, winners shoot Winnigs.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
Welcome back, Trap Talk listeners. I'm your host, Zach Nannini, and I'm here with the one and only Richard Marshall Jr. and the epic John Slinker, the man,
Slinkadink,
the legend.
We're here.
Shotco Productions, multiple-time Nevada State champion. I mean,
that's right.
He's my hero. We love John. We love Ricky. We're here talking trap and having fun and doing what we love. And today we are going to talk a little bit about the Nevada State shoot. We're going to have a Nevada State recap, and we're going to have some fun with it. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
So first of all, John is on the board. He's helped promote the shoot in a great way. And
formally
on the board.
John
is
I
not
just
on the board
retired.
anymore. Yep.
I just retired.
Well, thank you for your service and everything you've done. We'll get in there and go after it. But before I get started, Ricky, how was your experience this year at Nevada? This was my first time. This is not your first time, obviously.
No.
You've been there many times. So, kind of tell people what it was a few years ago and walk them to where it is now.
Well, I came to Nevada State shoot 3 years ago.
Yeah, the 75th.
75th. And, they had an idea, and I came out. I wasn't like you and said, I'll wait till it gets really big, But no, it was a good shoot. We had a lot of fun. The weather was a little sporty at the 75th, windy.
Especially on
very
the handicap.
windy.
Very windy. Yeah.
Exactly. Sunday was not good that year. I remember that.
Yeah.
And we had the 50-bird race. We had the handicap, blah, blah, blah. But it was an idea that John and the board had. So the whole board, down to every worker there that helps, was to just try to make this state shoot a great state shoot, for the West Coast especially. And, they ran a bunch of ideas by me. Even you were involved with some of the ideas, Zach. You just didn't show up. But
and if you guys remember, it was so early on, I came to Zach and I said, hey, we want to talk about the state shoot on Trap Talk because we wanted to find some way to talk about that. Hey, we're going to try something and we're going to try to promote this. So you guys were, even though Zach didn't make it, you guys were both a very big part of that. And then Ricky, with you giving it a chance and saying, all right, I'll come out, I always looked at it like if we can get some shooters who can come out and give it a try and go, hey, those guys are doing something down there, it just gives us some validation. And that's really what you guys did, I think, for the 75th. That was kind of some traction for us that first year.
Yeah. It gained traction. I said, yep, I'm coming. I pulled the fifth wheel out. Last minute, Justin Debris and Wyatt, drove out and, like a madman. Justin just got out of a fishing tournament and hauled butt out there to shoot with us. And we had a great time. I mean, it was a great shoot. It was ran very well. And then boom, the 76th, which is, we did more promotion on it.
Yep.
And come up with the big silver, giveaway.
The 400 ounces. That was the first 400 ounces.
That was the first one. And, shout out to Scott Oberchain, Mr. Pink.
Yes.
He won that. No relation to Greg Pink, who's the president.
No, surprisingly.
But, the 76 was an epic shoot. I mean, we gained what?
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the numbers, but
I think we were up somewhere in that 35 to 40% range, I think, on that shoot over shoot. And, I mean, just to highlight the weather last year was awesome too,
perfect.
Right?
Yes.
perfect. And everyone was saying like we couldn't get better weather than the 76. And spoiler alert, we're going to talk about how nice it was at the 77.
Yeah, and that was one of the things is, we promoted it, and for people out there that don't realize this, we talk a lot about John and with Shotco. John's our producer with the podcast, but he also in Shotco Productions. He's the reason with the promotion, all those videos that people are like, "Oh God, here's another video. Oh God, here's another video." But
they only
seriously,
came out every day. I don't know
exactly.
what the problem was.
But that's what it gets into people's minds, and it's like, "Hey, I gotta try this." So with doing that, you guys out there, all the state associations, if you want to grow your shoots, hit us up. Hit up Shotco.
I'm going to put my phone number right here.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
You go. Put my phone number right here.
Right at the bottom.
Here's the deal, and I think you have to have both ends. You have to have not only a board that's wanting to grow it, but then you have to work. And we're going to get into this today. You have to work very hard for your supporters, because what I've noticed about Nevada now I'm a fly on the wall coming in one time. I've gotten to see what it was through videos and what I've heard from other people, and then I got to show up and have the wow factor when I actually got there and actually experience it for the first time. It'd be like the first time seeing a light bulb turn on, right? You're like, oh, this is new, right?
Awesome.
This is a new deal. I like this light. This is kind of nice.
Ding! The light went off.
The light bulb went off. But what I think is missing, and this is not to promote Trap Talk or to promote John at this specific moment. It's just to say, if a shoot gives stuff, if you give stuff, but you don't promote it, then people don't know you're giving stuff. Now, I will tell you that I personally, I look at programs, but when I say I look at programs, I lightly look at programs. And then in some state shoots, you only get the program 25, 35, 45 days before the shoot. So if you're getting a program out within a month, do you really think people can take the time to plan the time off of work, get their family motivated, get all of this stuff together? When I look at Nevada for you guys started working on the 77th the day the 76 was over.
It is. You're
Hence, right now, the 78th is getting worked on right now.
Right now, yeah. We have been talking about it, but you're right. So just to unpack what you're saying there, because and we'll kind of dive deeper into some of these subjects. But when I look at it from the marketing side, yes, you have to have something to talk about. But then you have to go talk about it, right? If you guys remember a couple of years back when me and Greg were actually on and we were talking with you guys, I said, and I told Greg, they may not come this time, but they're going to know that we're doing something. And that was the thing, but you have to have something to talk about. And so that is a multi-layered cake though, right? You have to definitely have the support of the board. These are all volunteer people, right? It takes a lot. It takes a lot to lead up to it, to raise the money, to get the stuff to talk about. So it definitely is multifaceted. But it is just, I usually with the program creation, I try to get it out as soon as possible so people can start digesting it. And I'm constantly updating it online, as we get new stuff or sponsors or whatever. But I have that program out right around when pre-squad opens, or actually before pre-squad opens in May. We open up pre-squatting in July. I like to have that program out by May. That's a long time before October,
that's
right?
Late October. I mean, we're talking 3-4 months until you get there. And I think that's enough time for people to digest it and really say, okay, I want to go. Or, oh, look at this silver shootout. Look at this extra giveaway. Look at these free dinners. But, and there's some shoots where I think, I've been on a board of directors at MTA. I stepped down from doing that. But at the end of the day, when I was involved, and these are some great guys, the problem that we had is there was a couple years, I remember the 75th state shoot year, they did a lot of good stuff. They did free dinners every night. They upgraded the trophy package. They did a lot of stuff. The problem is a lot of people really didn't know that was happening, and so the attendance didn't just spike up. And if you just do it 1 year and then go back to the normal program,
don't work.
You're not necessarily. You have to build on it, right?
You need momentum. It's really important.
You need momentum. Yeah. It's like any other business in this world. Year one, when you open the restaurant, You're just trying to keep the doors open, and then you're starting to get year 2, year 3, year 4 repeat customers, and that's something that's not talked about a lot in this business of trap shooting. Is how do you keep and retain customers?
Well, sustain it, and one of the things that a lot of associations. I've been doing this 38 years, and I can tell you, the Nevada State Shoot the last 3 years has been one of the best state shoots to attend by far as an all-around shoot with everything, not just the trophies, but everything else that's involved with it. And that's something
like value, right? Value, right, Rick? Like value to the shooter, right? So I think that's really important. And it is a little step out of the norm, to say like, we're going to try to have a great trophy package, have a great prize package on top of that, the silver and stuff like that. And we're going to try to feed everybody twice a day for 6 days. That's an undertaking that most boards look at and go like, how are we going to do that? And that's a fair question. It's a really fair question.
And how do you pencil it, right? Because at the end of the day, like if you're saying, okay, if I'm hearing that from you without going and getting sponsorship dollars, I'm thinking you need to be at $60 or $70 100 for targets.
You can't pay for it on the target price. It's impossible.
You can't do that on that. And we'll get into the 77th with all the great stuff compared to the 76. But going back to promotion stuff, this is one of the big things that we've been able to do here at Trap Talk is promote shoots. And like you said, you're getting that program out in May. So you got just say to June, to July, to August, to September, and then boom, October. So just say 4 months. Here's the thing that I think a lot of shoots don't understand is, yes, people know the shoot's coming up. It's the same time every year, roughly. But if there's something different you're doing, you need to get that out there because people can't just take off work. There's a select few of us that work for ourselves or have other businesses that, if you own something, you can get away whenever. But for the 90% of the shooters, not the 10% or the 1%, they need to know. They might need to know 4 or 6 months ahead of time. Yeah. And if it's like, because I remember last year it would have been last year's Grand, not the 25th Grand, the 24th Grand. People were talking about Nevada, and they were like, Rick, I said, the 76 is going to be good. We're going to try to make it. Yeah. Well, then, boom, once the 77th, I saw people in Florida after the 76th, and they were like, we're coming. Yeah. We're coming out. Yeah. And you saw there was a lot of East Coast people that came out. There was, Frank Clark, Skylar Clark and his dad and several others drove out from Michigan. And then ended up
we had a whole crew come in from Michigan. Jeff Russell came out, the guy who runs MTA. And we had 36 states represented, plus Canada. And Alberta, I think, was out there too. That's Canada too, but so we had 36 states. So there was PA people there. I mean, Pat McCarthy came from Ohio. I mean, enough said. I mean, the good representation, right? So that was really positive. But that is speaking to the momentum side, right? And I've already had, no joke, 4 or 5 calls from people asking, hey, what's the dates of next year's shoot? Because we want to make sure we have it on the calendar. And that to me is like everything in a nutshell. It's like it just happened. It's just November 18th today as we record this,
So I'll give you my one shoot show up expectation and really review of what I found. When I showed up, the first thing I noticed is that the gun club is very well manicured. Okay, it was complete. It's very clean. Okay, this Clark County is a great facility. It's a great facility. It's one of the best facilities that I've seen in trap shooting. And the scorekeepers, I mean, just giving you a compliment. They did a very good job. Now, I don't know where you find them or what that goes, but everybody seemed very polite. The fields were very clean. Just from a clean running shoot, that's great. The targets were fantastic. Obviously, you can't control the weather. I was very lucky to roll in, and it was like the greatest weather ever. But
we had a dead flagpole all week, meaning that flag was just dead on the pole all week, which was really nice. And not to gloss over it, but Linda Hand on the board hires all the scorekeepers, trains them for the week ahead of time. listen, you're always going to have scorekeeper issues, and that's just personalities. But I think on a whole, they did really good. We didn't have any big score issues or like that type of stuff that you'd run into. And one of the things that we preach on the board is we really tell the scorekeepers and just all of our volunteers, these people are spending a ton of money to come across the country to shoot this shoot. It's a really big deal. We just got to treat everybody like a VIP. And if you don't know what to do, just come get us and we'll take care of it. And I really feel like they embodied that, and they treated everybody with that kind of respect of like, hey, this is kind of a big deal, to travel this far to shoot.
Because I had people at scorekeepers saying, hey, thanks for coming and thank you for shooting and good shooting. And all of that was very, very well received as a shooter. I'm not speaking as a podcast guy right now. I'm speaking as a shooter that showed up and rolling into the lunches every day. You guys had brats and hot dogs, and it was plenty enough of free lines. Just roll up, jump in the line, grab some food, grab some chips. It was easy, it was simple, it was there. Obviously, if you wanted to go into town and get a Jimmy John's, you could, but it was there for you if you didn't want to leave the gun club.
Right.
The clubhouse was always packed with people playing cards, which was a lot of fun. I did lose some money playing hearts, but hey, it was in all good fun.
I thought you were over there winning.
Actually,
who took all your money? I wonder.
I think after the
this
whole
guy
week was done,
this guy right here, this guy.
I looked at the sheets of the payouts, and I think I made like $2 at the end of the week because the last day I got on Wyatt pretty good, and I had a couple runner hands, but
real quick. So I just did a quick look up.
Hey, Trap Talk listeners, we got to take a real quick break, and we got to thank Ron Prescott from Mid-State Precious Metals for everything they do for the trap shooting community, coast to coast, for all your gold and silver buying needs. And on top of that, new announcement, they're a sponsor of the 126th Grand American.
Finally, he said it right, folks. Grand American. Yeah, Ron is a great guy. He's a sponsor of the Back Fence Shootout at Nevada State Shoot and Ohio State Shoot. And also, we got our gold for our Trap Talk event at Nevada State Shoot. And the 77th annual Nevada State Shoot, they bought all theirs from him. 680 ounces of silver to be exact, folks. You're missing out if you're not there.
That's a lot of silver, and honestly, if you're not buying from Ron, you're probably overpaying. So whether you're buying it for your gun clubs or your shoots or for your personal use, you got to give them a try because they're big supporters of the Trap Shooting Nation. So it's awesome.
Big Red Motorsports. Big Red, they're personal friends of mine, Jason and George Lee, and they're also a personal sponsor of mine.
Now, I'll say this. Ricky looked great driving around in that side-by-side. I got some free rides down at Tucson, the Autumn Grand. I think it's awesome that they deliver all across the country, and obviously they love trap shooters, they love trap shooting, and they're doing a great job.
Listen, they got Can-Am, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Triton trailers. Hit them up. We'll take care of you guys. With that being said,
let's get to the show.
And I know John can do this, and I did some of his job for him, but it's okay. So for the 75th Nevada State Shoot, 754 shooters in the all-around, 2,036 total with the HOA. In the 76th, 952. So we gained 200 shooters, okay, from the 75th. Yeah. We gained 424.81 in the overall numbers. So 445, okay? Now, this is where it's going to knock your socks off. From the 76th to the 77th annual Nevada State Shoot, went from 952 in the HAA to 1321. That is 369 shooters.
It's a lot of people. Yeah.
Yep.
That is literally, that is almost 38%. But listen to this, Zach. Just settle down. Don't turn red on me. Settle down.
Hang in
there.
They
went from 2481 HOA numbers to 3227. So that means so many more shooters. Now, so for everybody out there, because I'm a numbers guy. Yes, I teach lessons. I sell guns. I do other business stuff. But numbers is one of my deals. And going back to when, the board came up with the idea with the 400 ounces for the 76th, everybody out there that was mad that they had to shoot the HOA, that was my idea. I said that because I wanted to make sure an association can survive and literally have the longevity to continue to do this, by making you shoot the HOA, which means if there's 10 events in the HOA, 12 events, whatever it is, all that money that they make off that, they can give away all this stuff and not go broke.
Right. Yeah, and it was very important because you didn't have to play an option. You didn't have to shoot 100. You didn't have to do anything else. Just come from
Nothing
Wednesday
special.
through Sunday. Yeah, just come Wednesday through Sunday, shoot those events. It's only a 900 bird HOA, second of all, because we switched to 200 birds on Wednesday, so you weren't like having to shoot 15 events or something, you know. So we thought it was a fair compromise to say, yeah, listen, if you want to qualify for all this, you know,
come shoot.
That's how you got to do it. Yeah.
And I think that on these big prizes you have to, because if you just give all this stuff on Sunday and then everyone just flies in on the weekend and shoots it, you know, that kind of jams up your shoot from a scoring standpoint, from a logistics standpoint, from a a revenue standpoint. I mean, we're getting really into the details of running a shoot now, and it's just it's crazy. But everyone says that people aren't shooting trap. Everyone says that people won't come out. That's not true. You know, Jerry Parr came out. He doesn't shoot trap anymore, and he heard how great this was. He grabbed his Cade and he came down and he shot with
brought
Ricky
the camper down. He shot with me and had a great time. I mean,
this guy's been out of the game for years, and
well, that's because he flies around in a G3 jet. You know, which not a bad gig. You know,
he's got some. If
other we could just get him to come get us, Zach, that's all we need.
Yeah, where's the pickup? You know,
it'll
fly us out to Sparta. Yeah.
But what I think is these people that don't shoot as much anymore, maybe they got out of it because they're like, well, the heyday is gone. I think the heyday is coming. I think we got a lot of young shooters now that have been in the AIM programs, SET programs, Alphabet program that they have in the States that I don't know the name of, and they've been cooking for 20 years now, right?
Yeah.
So now 20 years later, okay, these guys got a little jingle in their pocket.
Yep.
And they miss shooting. Now all you got to do is put the shoot on for them to get drawn out, and you will bring them out of the woodwork.
I will tell you, I will, and I'll tell you a specific story. Kyle Hoffmeyer, the HOA champion of the 77th Nevada State Shoot, is from Reno. He used to shoot with Rich Bullard when he was a kid. He has not shot a registered target in 10 years. And he was just like, I got to come down. You guys are doing so much fun. So he brought him and his buddy came down. He got me by 2 birds in the HOA. I mean, I wish I would have stayed home, you know. But but I'm just saying. To your point, someone who hadn't shot, who was just like, I think there's enough going on that's going to draw them back to the flame, right? Well, and you know, I that was just a great story for him to go like, hey, I haven't shot trap in 10 years, and I'm here. You know, it was pretty cool.
For all the people out there that didn't get to attend the 77th annual Nevada State Shoot, come to the 78th. But you know, shoots give away attendance pins. So here is the Nevada State, if it'll zoom right.
You back it up. There you go.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Right there.
I got one.
I'm sure John can take a photo of it and
I'll superimpose it right here.
Yeah. But see, there's
if I can do
yours. There you go. Well, it's dark on yours too.
Yeah. You noted it.
It looks great
but
though.
There it goes right there. Right there.
Oh, Rick got it. Yeah.
That thing it's about what, inch and a half?
It's an inch and a half by inch and a half by 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely beautiful pin.
Now, so to that, if you break 100 straight out there, you get a nice Nevada 100 straight pin.
Yes, I came with those this year, actually. I just designed those.
And you get the NSTA 100 straights.
Yes.
Okay, that's at the state shoot. Now, I am going to give a quick shout out to Shotgun Works. They came out
for sure. We have to do
I'll say it, badass 100
straight
pins. There's 100 straight singles.
Very nice.
The zeros are their logo. I mean, they did it really cool. Yeah.
And then a 200 straight, because I was fortunate to break the 200 straight. But I also out there, Zach and I broke hundreds and doubles.
Yes, this one's really
cool. And
I
got 100 straight. So shout out to Robert and Leslie.
Yeah, those were
they're
super
doing
cool.
wonderful stuff over there at Shotgun Works. I'm getting ready to send a barrel over, hopefully this week before I leave. And,
awesome!
Get that.
Yeah, Leslie came in and gave me one of those 100 straight pins for my 100 earlier in the week. Yep. And I, for me, from a guy who designs stuff, I loved it, but at the same time, I was envious. I was just like, "Oh, this is so cool!"
I know,
too cool. Why am I not
she's
involved?
Like, she's like, "Hey," and I've known Leslie a long time, as I've known Robert, But I said, wait a second. And I was like, that's your logo. I was like,
Yeah,
that's badass.
it came out so cool. Yeah, it
Yeah.
came out and
I'm like,
and Zach
that is so-
got something too. He got something
Yeah.
we didn't get, unfortunately,
Yeah,
because
we
he's the
didn't.
500 by 500 guy. You know, that's
Yeah.
Zach.
So I was going to save that to talk about it later, but I guess since you brought it up, John,
I mean, we're showing stuff.
So,
yeah.
so for the people that don't know, on I think what was the day of the class singles? Was that Thursday?
It was
Thursday.
that
Yeah,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thursday,
Yeah.
and I got to
Day
tell
of
this
the
story
backfence.
because this is a good story.
It is a good story. Yeah.
It's me, Joey Charnago, Herbert
Mm-hmm.
Lewis, and Shelby Skaggs, and we were going to shoot with David Swigert this week, but David Swigert decided not to come for whatever reason. I think he had someone had health issues. I don't want to get into
some
it.
health issues in the
But
family.
it was something reasonable that he couldn't come to because he really wanted to come. So we had an open post on our squad. Now, there was a girl there, and her name is Isabella Ritchie. I think people call her Bella, or
We do, yeah.
So Isabella
She's
Ritchie,
kind of like
She's
Nevada's
going to
kinda like her
Lindenwood,
second
Zach.
home. Yep, she's going to Lindenwood.
Lindenwood.
She's technically from Arizona. Yep.
she's a nice lady, and for whatever reason, one of the earlier events we opened up our squad. It was a doubles, I think, because we didn't want to shoot 4-man in it, and she just randomly jumped on, and we liked her, and we said, hey, if you want to shoot with us again, go in there and hop on that post for the rest of the week. So she goes and hops on, and this is on Wednesday. Well, Thursday we go out and shoot the singles. We all break the first 25, and not thinking nothing of it, but we're dinging them pretty good. Then we break the first 50, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Then we break the first 75 as a group, and now I'm thinking, okay, here's my chance to get one more 500 squad over Rich Bullard because he's only got 2. So I dug in real tight, and we post 1 was Herbert Lewis, post 2 was Joey Charnago, post 3 was Shelby Skaggs, post 4 was me, and our Iron Man was Isabel. And we got all 100 broke, and then everybody, like there was a pin drop watching her shoot that last target, and she smoked it and got it done, and we all just lost it and broke the 500 by 500. And now I don't know if this is correct. If anybody knows this, let us know. But Joey Charnago told me that he called some people and he asked, and that this was the first 500 squad with
Carmichael also said,
with two females on a squad. Now, there's obviously been 500s with Nora, but to have 2 females on a squad, I heard it was a record. And it was very nice of Robert and Leslie. They sent me a card. I just got back today, and I opened up the mail, and it says, "Congratulations on your 500 squad in Las Vegas. Keep up the great shooting, Robert and Leslie Height." And they sent us this really, really cool keychain, and it's got 500 by 500 on it. And it's got our names engraved. It's got Herbie, Joey, Shelby, me, and Bella, and it's got the date, and it says Shotgun Works on it. I might take a picture and send it to John so that it can be a little
I'll
bit
put it
more
up there.
clear.
Yeah,
and then in the back, it's got
Their
Shotgun
logo.
Works with the logo, and it is
That's
just
cool.
And
It's
cool, man.
I just want to thank him very much for doing this because this was very special, and it meant a lot to me, especially to have one more than Rich Bullard. You can't know how important that is to me, and to have
Now you got 2 more than me.
I got three.
You got
three
3 more than me.
3 times as many as Richard Marshall and 33% more than Mr. Bullard. Which for me, that works. It was a good day. I was very, very happy. And,
well, listen, we were all very proud of you too. And Steve
that
Carmichael,
was a cool deal. And Zach, I just want to tell you, I thought they sent the card because you weren't hitting that hard. They told you to send the barrel in. That's what I was going to say.
They're like, hey, if you want to smoke 100, send the barrel.
They want
Robert
you to
and Leslie,
smoke 100,
listen.
not
I
chip it.
don't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hundreds like Ricky Marshall. But if you guys want to help a brother out, I mean, I'll put them barrels on and start hitting some stuff. I mean, I'm not afraid to start making some Wilkinson smoke balls out there.
That's good, man.
They've been
That's
working
good.
pretty good lately, but I mean, I could always use a little bit of edge. These are some tough shooters out there.
Now, just to wrap it up, Steve Carmichael was saying at the club that day, he goes, I think it's the first one in Nevada. Like at a Nevada State shoot.
I bet. Well,
right?
It could be. Yeah, I don't remember any being at his club. All the shoots we shot at his club.
He's got a pretty
he
good
would know.
record. Right? He would know, right?
Yeah,
so he was saying not even just having a couple of lady shooters on there, but he was saying more like first one in Nevada. So you might have that record also, Zach.
Well, we'll look it up. I know there's some people doing some research. I know Trap Shooting USA wanted to talk about it a little bit at some point in time, so it'll be kind of cool. I love that we're digging up history because there's people that we have on the show that nobody's ever heard of, and there's records that have happened and then they die because nobody remembers, and then you get some new shooters. And they're hot and they're breaking hundreds here and hundreds there, hot gun shooting. But do they remember the history of the sport? Do they even know who Leo Harrison was? Do they know about Dan? I mean, do they know about the greats? And I think that you have to take a second and document what's going on, and you have to go back and say these are the guys that paved the road for success for us now, and period. And if you don't do that, you're not giving respect to the game. You're not giving respect to the people that put the work in. And there's a lot of people that put work in, and there's a lot of people that aren't going to be able to shoot the same scores that they've shot now because of their age or because of whatever has happened. But that doesn't make them any less of a champion. You can't take.
Well, look at everything in the past. Look at everything that like Dan Benias was the best self-marketing person out there by far, ever. The scores he broke. Look what Leo did. Brad Dysinger, Ray Stafford. I mean, it's unreal of what these guys have done.
And Brett Robinson.
Brett. I mean, all through the eras.
There's just so many names that we're not even touching, just off the top of the head. But it's cool that it's happening now, and stuff's getting documented. Yeah. And there's records being made as we speak.
Well, look at Nevada State Shoot. Gary Sherrod was there. And Gary Sherrod is the oldest person to break 100 from the 27 at the Grand American. He did it, and then he beat his record 2 years later and did it again. So you remember him talking about it on the podcast. But Gary was there because he was on his way. He was going to Benias's funeral. So. He stopped by and such. So, but, getting back to the 77th Nevada State Shoot, for everybody out there, you need to plan to attend the 78th. It's going to be bigger and better.
We are definitely thinking of how we can improve it. We've had
huge.
We always got huge,
huge,
man.
Huge.
Well, the 75th was awesome. The 77th, the 76th was epic. And then for the 77th, I said, hey, we're going to make history, and we did. We were the first comp 5, right? So we reached that competition factor of 5. So that was history for us, right? To get that done in the Western Zone. So we're really proud of that. For the 78th, we are already looking at it going, okay, what did we love? What didn't work? How can we do better? I mean, we had a packed schedule. We had events during the day, obviously. We had lunches, we had dinners, we had nighttime events. We did a lot there, so, that diagnosis of what worked, what didn't work, a lot of worked. We had the biggest Calcutta we've ever had, over 40,000. We gave away $168,000 in options, which is a pretty big number.
We had
for
the backfin shootout.
We had the backfin shootout, which was awesome, and our very own Ricky Marshall took down. You went heads up with Britt, right?
Britt Dalton. Shout out to Britt Dalton. He just broke 100 straight at the Arizona PITA shoot. Yep. Did that yesterday. I posted, Robert and Leslie put out,
congratulations
to him. And I said, keep beating up on Bullard. Just keep hammering Bullard.
I hope he afforded the extra $3 and he got that cross-registered for another Grand Slam, but who knows? RGS Bore Stripper. It's a great product. Ricky, tell them how they can find it.
Go to their website, rgsguncleaner.com. You can get the 1 8-ounce bottle, free shipping, 2 8-ounce bottle, and you get the 2-ounce travel bottle, and it's free shipping also, or just get the little 2-ounce bottle for travel.
Yeah, they sent me some of this product, and I used it on my Krieghoff choke tubes the other day, and it got the plastic out like in a minute, and it was super cool and super good. So if you like cleaning your gun, you like eliminating plastic, and you like shiny bores, give them a try for sure. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
Yeah, we'd really like to thank John Weber, the owner, for the support. He's doing an awesome job.
Yeah, we really want to thank John. We appreciate the support of the show. Anybody that supports Trap Talk, you guys need to support them and get this stuff because it's awesome. SOS Clays Shoot Management, they're doing a fantastic job. I love the app. I love being able to see everything on my phone instantaneously. It's freaking awesome. Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, Greg Pink and his group over there. I mean, they've got majority of the satellite grands, majority of the state shoots. I think it's 40 plus state shoots they're doing. But the app, honestly, we were doing a little beta testing with that at the Spring Grand. It's awesome. You can see your squad if they paid. You know, you can see your options, your payouts. The whole works at your fingertips. Great deal. They're just
Ricky knew how much money he made before he even got off the line. He was like, "Hey, I'm buying lunch." I'm like, "Yeah, good job. We're good to go."
That's
we
right.
also got gun and trophy insurance. I mean, they're the best in the business. I know they're great price. Ricky, you're familiar with them, right?
Yeah, Cole and Larry Cushman been long-time supporters of myself, and I've been a supporter of them, and, you know, especially with my college team. You know, we require insurance. It's so fast and easy to sign up and get your insurance in literally 10 minutes. You can have your guns insured, and they're just great. They're great to deal with. Like I said, you can do your trophies also, you know, your wildlife animals and that such, and your guns. It's just a great
It's
product.
always good when you're
Great
traveling
product.
around to have that peace of mind and know that you don't have to worry about losing your stuff forever. And these are expensive things, especially when you got those Craig offs. You got to keep them insured. So,
Oh, exactly.
with that being said,
let's get back to the show.
Maybe they'll take us $3 if he walks back in. But yeah. So you and Britt got heads up for that one, which was awesome to see that shoot off. That was really cool. But yeah, so we always looked at it. We looking at what do we love, you know, and what can we do better. And just circling back, like the options, paying out 168 grand in options is, you know, that was a record for us again. It shows that people are coming to Vegas. They're playing the options. I think it speaks a little bit to the structure. Rick, if you remember, I was going through all of the events, playing with all the options and saying, hey, should we do it like this? Should we do it like that? I sent it out to Joey too, I think, and Zach, I sent you a copy. Really just trying to get that feedback of like, does this make sense? We brought in the 6-way, which I always wanted to do this year, which was really cool.
Best purse around.
Yeah. We called it the Great Western, just to play off of it, the Great Western purse.
Used to be the Great Eastern. That was invented by Aiden Kaufman in Ohio.
Yeah. So, and people played it. They loved it. It gave a lot of people options to win some money back. I think we priced them really well. You know, so I think all of those things are playing really, really nicely together. So I think that we executed on really well. The Calcutta being the biggest Calcutta we've ever had, you know, over 40K. So that was really great.
Yeah.
Right
so people,
now,
you know,
I mean, I don't want to speak because I don't have facts and figures right now, but I would probably guess that Nevada's handicap on Sunday is the biggest paying handicap in the country this year. I mean, I don't know of anyone who had $40,000 in a trap Calcutta in the country this year, along with the other options package. And if you tack the silver on top
Silver
of that,
on.
I mean,
right, yeah.
you're talking
You're
about
you're at 80.
40,
60. You're over $80,000 probably.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
at
because you have the
least.
options, you have the silver, and you have the Calcutta, right? So if you put all those together, we got to be close to that. Like, because in Sunday's handicap, 400 ounces plus 25 to each yardage, 25 to each runner up through 6, right? So you've got, what do you got there? Like 600 and something, right? Ounces of silver at
That's
close
30.
to $50.
That's 30,000.
Yeah, so that's 30,000 right there, plus the 40K. 41 over 41 actually in the Calcutta. It was exactly, let's see, what did it come out to exactly? 41,100, right? Then a huge options payout on the 6-way and the yardage purses and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think you're definitely up there.
Well, you had 5,000 just in the super handicap, Lewis.
Okay.
And then you had another 12. Yeah, so 5,000. I'm looking at the options right now
Option
online.
reports, yeah.
The 6-way was 3480. The 25s was $2,500 roughly. I mean, there's 10,000 right there. Another 3,000 at 50s, and then you're at 8,000 in the Lewis, so you're easy.
That's a good Lewis, yeah.
$20,000, and I'm trying to get to the yardage stuff. 3,000.
So that's 50. That's 50 plus 40 right there. We might be at 90K.
I was thinking it's going to be, and then you throw the buckles in there, and
$100,000. We'll just let's just say it's $100K.
It's $100,000 because I don't
Because
know how much these cost, but I ended up getting this buckle, and this was runner up in the handicap on Sunday. And this is one of the prettiest buckles I've ever won in my life.
See,
and, I was very glad.
There's my Ruse singles.
Yep, me and Ricky
I have one of those too. I got a little Ruse singles here too.
But John, shout out to Slink. Slink was the Nevada State doubles champion resident.
That's true.
And I was the non-resident champ.
That's right.
And
matching buckles, baby.
Same buckle. But listen, folks, these are Molly's buckles.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're great buckles. They really are. I mean,
well, I can tell you that we paid Molly's really close to what that Calcutta was, just so everybody knows. Those buckles are not cheap. Every championship event, our rule in Nevada is if the event says championship, it's got a buckle, including the HOA and the HAA. And if you win the HOA, the buckle's even bigger.
No, it's beautiful.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Look at John.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's even big.
So let me do the plug-in for you, John, because you're a champion now. You're going to have to be humble. So
I am. Yeah.
So I will say I looked at the scores, and just to go off of Shoot Scoreboard, the state championship, which was the first championship laid on the line, John won in-state with a 97, and Carl Hoffmeyer was runner-up. And then when we go to outstate, it was Richard Marshall Jr. and Britt Dalton. When we get to the singles championship, our good friend Mr. Richard Bullard was the state champion, and John was the runner-up. So we got another.
Okay, I'm just gonna pause you here because I gotta get it off my chest.
What do you got?
Okay, he ran 100 up front. Okay, and I ran a 99. But I said to myself, Bullard's good for one in the back. Just take it easy, one bird at a time. Okay,
he missed late.
So did I. So I stayed in it. I went 25. I went 25. I went 25. And then I'm lead off, like you guys, right? And I go 5, 5, 5, 5. I don't know how many fives that is, but there was four fives.
4 or 5. And you're on your last post now.
Yeah. And now I'm on post 5. Dead bird. And on that third bird, I just picked it up and I just looked at the gun and didn't reset my eyes. And I got a hard left from 5 and I shorted it.
Number 98 went in the shorts.
It went
98?
short. Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
I went short and then Bullard, he went 99. So he got 199. I got 198 and congratulations to him. But just because I have so much respect for Bullard, just on a very serious note here, he is our top shooter in the state. He has maintained that for many, many years. I respect him. He's a great guy. He's helped me. He's always been there for us. Like, all I wanted was to shoot off against him at the 77th.
And John, I'm going to get on you for a second here. We've done about 150 Trap Talk episodes. We've talked about not thinking about buckles going into the end of the event and things like that many times. I mean, but in all reality, Rich is a great shooter, and he's got more Nevada State titles than probably anybody in the history of Nevada. He's a champion. And he's a great shooter, and he's a great ambassador of the sport, and he's a great guy. And the fact that you were right there with him, and it shows a lot. It shows how much advancement that you're having, John. I mean, your quality level of your shooting has gone from weekend warrior to competitor, and that takes effort. And that just is a testament to show that anyone can focus on this sport and move up. Because 3 years ago, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation with you about winning multiple state championships because you were newer. You were newer to the game.
I wasn't dialed in, and
you weren't on. You weren't.
Obviously, I've got a little bit of a inside track here, guys. I get to listen to this podcast and be a part of this with you guys, and when you hang around with champions, it doesn't hurt you. It definitely helps you.
You're a champion too, and everyone can be a champion, and everyone can be a champion if their mindset believes that they're a champion. And I think you have to start in the mind, and you have to have the goals that we talk about, like Ricky says, writing the goals down and getting yourself in a position where you believe you can do. And once you believe, then you just put the work in, and then then the fruit comes.
That was a big thing for me. And when you kind of come in where you feel like you can be competitive, right? It just carries you a little. And I felt like I've been working on my doubles a lot. And so I won the class doubles and I won the doubles championship. And that was really, if you ask me, what are your goals before the state shoot? Obviously, for everybody to have a great time and for the state shoot to run, the way it ran. But I really wanted to bring the doubles because I'd been putting in some work. I wanted to kind of manifest that into a win. And so that was really big for me. And I think, I felt like I could compete. I felt like I could bring it, and so that was a huge part of it for me.
Feeling competitive and walking in the line and knowing that you have an opportunity to win is the greatest feeling in the world. Now, we don't always execute, but knowing that you can win is a great feeling to have. And sometimes when you don't have that feeling, it's very difficult. I mean, it's very, very, very difficult.
And looking back at John, running the shoot and doing everything, where this year you kind of step back and you still doing stuff, but you focused a little more on the shooting.
I
did.
Yeah.
You did. You won the doubles. You won the all around. You were runner up in the singles. That just shows that you put the effort in.
Yeah.
And plus, we had a great time. I mean, it ran smooth because of all. It ain't just the board members. It's everybody involved and the volunteers. And I mean, it's crazy that this little shoot 3 years ago,
a 3,
right?
Yeah, it's now a 5.
754 shooters, almost doubled in 2 years. Almost doubled.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll
Very
get
close.
there.
Yeah. And if you guys remember, like even from the start, because Rick, you came in earlier, right?
Yep.
And you were doing lessons and stuff and kind of getting people ready to go. But it just seemed like from the start, like the vibe, right? Like everybody was just kind of tuned into like, we're going to have fun. This is going to be great. It just had this really great. And I was telling, Tish, like early on, Monday, I was just like, it already feels like the vibe is just here. Like everybody's just having a good time already. And it's only Monday, we're just getting started. Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
I think for the 78th, I think we need to have 2 nights of poker instead of the one. Go back to
that
the 2.
was a common. Actually, it was a common feedback that I received. Why only one night of poker? And I said, well, we brought in some of these other things, but yeah, we're gonna have 2 nights of poker. We got really good feedback on Cosmic Night, on the Halloween costume contest. That was a ton of fun. There's pictures on Facebook. If you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty cool.
I know. I had a doppelganger running around out there.
Hey,
yes, you did.
I interviewed the
that
real
was one of
Richard,
my favorite,
and it was good too.
Yeah, that
was good.
I interviewed the real Richard Marshall Jr. that night, and it was a good interview. And we might be able to splice that into this episode. We didn't release it for Halloween, but we kind of might have to do it because it was rather hilarious.
Hello, Trap Talk listeners. Zach Nini here live. My co-host Richard Marshall Jr., who just won the doubles championship in Nevada. How did it go, Ricky?
When you're as good as me, Ricky Marshall, you expect to win. And I went out there and I did what I expected to do, folks.
Sounds normal. Hundreds and hundreds of hundreds.
Just like 25s and singles, folks.
There we go. You heard it here from the real Richard Marshall Jr.
Hey, Slink. Congratulations on the doubles championship, Slink.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations to my cameraman for the Trap Talk show.
Oh, it's on you.
What's up, Trap Talk listeners? Ricky Marshall here, playing some cards with Tim Reed, Jeremy Parr, and also some dude who dressed up as me for Halloween.
That's what I deal with, folks.
And
Wyatt it was so funny.
Man.
I knew they were up to something. It was
Rick,
so funny.
he had the shoes. He had the
Oh,
shoes.
yeah.
Oh, he had it locked on. He had the glasses down on his nose, and he was looking at everybody. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is Ricky.
But the greatest thing about that, Zach, was when Jody and Amber walked in, and they got their phone. I was like, you guys are up to something. And who was it that was sitting next to me? He said, well, he reads people for a living, teaching. He knows something's up. It was Herbie. Herbie said that.
Okay.
And it wasn't 2 minutes, and I went, and he had it all the way down to the tattoo.
He did.
You could smell smoke before you seen the fire. That's for sure.
But
you knew it was coming.
great?
Tish literally thought it was you, Rick. She walked in behind Wyatt, and she thought she was walking in behind you. It was
Well, and I had to be careful because later on in the night, I was going to talk to you when I seen that red shirt. And I'm like, oh, there's Ricky. And I'm like, oh, damn it, that's Wyatt. I got to go for the blue shirt. I had to go for the blue shirt because he had it. He did a good job. But
He did so good.
We'll definitely splice that in here
I'll
for
put-
some
yeah, I'll put
entertainment
it in.
value.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it was
worth
good.
seeing. But getting back to the numbers now. So we named Rich Bullard as the champion. John is the runner-up. In the categories in state, for the singles, and I'm not going to go through this with every event, but I think the singles championship is important to list. Sub-junior champion was Juan Carlos. Orion Cooper, our friend, he was the junior. Austin Stanatelin was the junior gold. Jasmine Hicks was the lady one, and Deb Main was the lady two. Sub-vet, Don Mayhill. And vet was Clayton Phillip. And senior vet was Samuel Ford. So those are all your in-state singles champion winners. For the out-of-state, we'll just touch on the champion and runner-up was Kyle Perry and Richard Marshall Jr., yours truly, who won that.
Kyle did an awesome job. I mean, he smoked every target, rolled right through. We had a good shoot-off, went 175, and I missed on the last post. And I went, oh, I can go to eat now.
Yeah, no, it was a great shoot off. I got the pleasure of watching some of it, and Ricky was dialed in, Kyle was dialed in, and it was a real deal. And it happens, and it kind of goes from there. Moving on to the handicap on Sunday, we have champion and is it Harry Terrazin? Terrazin, is that how you say it? Harry Terrazin was the in-state champion of Nevada, so he got that big, beautiful buckle. For the out-of-state, Isaac Zillman was our champion with the 97. He was our big silver winner.
We had a bunch of 97s, though. We had a bunch of 97s in that shoot-off.
10 of you.
There was Isaac Zillman, Blaine Combs, Truce Huber, Herbert Lewis, Trace Huber, White William Debris, Schooler, James, Wayne Asmussen, Glenn Loneman, and Oscar Reynolds, and then myself. So there was 10 of us with 97s in the deal, and Isaac ended up winning the shoot-off. We went, I think it was 6 rounds, honestly, folks.
You went 6 rounds total in the
There was misses in several rounds. There was 25 and 25s.
It was dramatic. It was dramatic, yeah.
3 boxes had 25s, and the rest had misses, and they were all equal until the last one. He ran a 25, and I ended up shooting a 24 on that last box. But it was very, very, very. It was different than any shoot off I've ever been in, because the gravity of shooting for that many ounces of silver, everybody was aware of what they were doing. It wasn't like we were shooting off for a box of tiddlywinks, right? I mean, it was a big deal. And I think it was well run. I want to give a shout out to everyone in Nevada that promoted this event and made it possible, and also to the people that helped donate, because when you're giving away this amount of stuff, it comes down to sponsorships, guys, and you guys have done a great job of getting people to sponsor, whether it's the lunches, whether it's the dinners, whether it's offsetting the buckles, whether it's the silver from Ron Prescott, Mid-State Precious Metals. I mean, I know everybody is doing their part at kicking in as much as they humanly can to make this a one-in-a-lifetime experience. If you guys are going to do anything and put a state shoot on your bucket list, I would put the 78th on your bucket list next year. Get it on your calendar. Book your hotel. We stayed at the Aliante. It was fantastic. Great service there. If you can get on the grounds and have your fifth wheel or your RV there, I would definitely recommend that too, because it looks like it was a party every night. But if you're hoteling it, the Aliante was fantastic. They made us feel like VIPs everywhere we went, and the food is great in Vegas. The people are great in Vegas, and everything ran smooth. I mean, I really can't say much more than it was perfect, and it exceeded every expectation that I had in my head when I showed up. First of all, Remington's been with us since day one. I've been shooting these shells since 2007. I shoot the Nitro 27 from the 27-yard line, ounce and eighth, 7.5, and STS, ounce and eighth, eighths for singles and doubles. They've worked great for me, as they do a lot of top shooters all around the country. Give them a try. Don't forget the Gun Club line when you're practicing and you're wanting to save a little bit of money.
We'd also like to thank another sponsor, Outlaw Engineering. Randy Freston, R2. I've known Randy since 1988. They do engineering, surveying, drafting, GIS, civil, structural, land development, wetland permitting. They do it all.
And they're friends of trap shooters. I mean, they're a trap shooting family. They've been in the ATA forever. His dad's been involved. They're involved. They're a beautiful family. They're great people. And we just love that they listen to the show, and we love that they support Trap Talk.
Yeah, his dad was past president in 1989. So I really want to thank those guys for the support. I really appreciate it.
73 Pointers Ranch, Jonesburg, Missouri. Rick and Carla Burke. Best place in the area to go shoot chuckers and pheasants and have a great time. Rick, we got to get you down there.
Yeah, I need to come in. Hopefully I can do some hunting with you guys and come to your the annual clay shoot in August right after the Grand.
It's a lot of fun. It's the Optimist Club charity shoot. They throw a charity shoot. They put it on, and it's wonderful. I think last year they had over 100 entries into it, and it's just a good time. White Flyer, they've been sponsoring us since the beginning, and they make a great target. What do you think, Rick?
It's the best target in the ATA. Shout out to everybody there, all the reps, Bill Daniels, Josh Taylor, Nick Arnold, Robert Crow, everything they do for the sport and all the shoots. Really appreciate it.
They're always there. They're always trying to make a better target, and they're always supporting the game that we love so much. With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
Yeah, we had a couple of good hotels who were giving us room rates, which was really great. So we did have the Aliante, and we also had the Santa Fe, which was giving us a rate. So that was really cool. And those are kind of the close hotels by us. So yeah, we'll definitely get some booking rates with them. We are talking to the tourism board for next year and seeing how can they help us get more rooms and more discounts for people. Because one of the things about the Clark County Shooting Complex is we do only have 80-ish RV spots, and we had a lot of people sharing, and so as our numbers are going up, we're trying to see how do we solve that and get as many people, to have good accommodations. There are Airbnbs up there, which is really nice too. So, that is a possibility. But just to loop back to the sponsorship and stuff, this is one of the things I wanted to break down with you guys and talk about. We raised a lot of money. We probably raised, close to $50,000 in sponsorship money. And that is critical if you are going to kind of push the boundaries of your shoot, right?
Yep.
So for us, that's obviously a main thing that I do is I kind of organize the sponsors and get the sponsorship dollars coming in. Because when I came to the board originally, I had all these ideas, and they were like, well, those are really great ideas. How do we pay for all that stuff? And I was like, I'm going to go start asking people for money, and you start local, and then you kind of branch out. One of the benefits of having Trap Talk involved is they know the shoot's going to get some publicity, and so there's more value for the sponsors, right? And they know that I'm going to be out there pushing it, and that the program itself was downloaded thousands of times, right? So that's another benefit for the sponsors to get their name out. When you start to get some momentum going with your state shoot, you also start to get people who want to be involved. They want to have their name connected to your shoot, right? They want to say, oh, I was a part of that, right? So this year we had more vendors than we've ever had, right? So we had Elite Shotguns came. We had Excel Shooting, come back again. McKnight was there. Lanny was there. We had 3 gunsmiths out there. So we had McKnight plus Lucio.
Tex Hollis was there.
Tex Hollis was there. So that was really cool. I think that was one of the things I noticed at the shoot was like, wow, I'm starting to see some real momentum because the vendors are saying, hey, we want to be there. We want to be a part of it. So that was kind of a bellwether for me.
There wasn't one spot open. When I drove up and down that RV line, you guys were full. Yeah. There was nothing available. This was completely packed, guys. And it's rare to see a place at capacity. I think, you only have so much trap there. You only have so much daylight. Right. So it's going to get to a point, folks, where, I remember back in the day when we shot Vernal in the heyday of the basin shoot. They knew that they could put down, I think the number was 82 squads a day, 82 squads. That was the number. There was no more, no less. Okay. And it was first come, first serve. So what they did is you had to, it got to the point where you had to put a $200 deposit down to secure your spot because they sold the shoot out in advance. And that really helped because you knew exactly what you were coming into. You knew how many steaks to buy, how much food, this, that, and the other thing. It wasn't
the
just
targets, everything.
I think for you guys, just as a personal observation, at a 5, it ran fantastic. It ran and it was a beautiful shoot. I think getting to a 6, it's an undertaking, and you have to kind of figure out, okay, how do we lay this out to be as efficient as possible with our time? Because there can't be 1 second of the day wasted when you go from a 5 to a 6, and that's
that's the thing too for us, right?
And it will be tough getting to a 6.
It will. Now we already have it as a goal.
Yeah.
I'll just be honest. We already have it as a goal, but it's going to take some stuff because we have 22 traps. Okay.
Yes.
We have a mountain that eats the sun at 4:59. Right. We have 22 fields of lights. Right. So that is something that we're talking about. But I think we have to hot load. Right. That was time. Right. We have to hot load. We're going to keep starting at 8 a.m. That worked out really well. That wasn't a problem. I think that actually worked in our favor. Having the doubles events first to where the doubles are set prior to the event starting helped, right? Because we don't have a setup. Yeah. So we didn't have that. But I think the hot loading is going to be critical. Greg was saying, hey, traps 1 and 2, they're no longer dedicated for practice. We got to open those banks up and shoot them. So we're trying to be creative, but we're also having a meeting with the county and saying, listen, we're growing the chute. We're getting bigger. You already have plans for 20 more traps. Like, let's do it. We can run big chutes here, and we want to do an April chute, April, May timeframe, and say, we'll run 2 giant chutes a year. Give us 20 more traps, extend the clubhouse, because they already have plans to do all of these things.
Yep.
But they need a reason, right? And we want to be that reason. And then we're bringing in the tourism board, which the tourism board just gave millions and millions and millions of dollars to F1. What would it be for them to come in and say, all right, we'll buy your 20 traps. Sure. How many, it's like, yeah, we'll bring in 3,000 people, So we think there's some cards that we can play.
All you need is 10 or 12, actually 10 more traps gives you 5 more banks.
Okay.
You could because we need to get 280 more shooters exactly
through the banks, right? We got to get that many through. Yeah.
So you could, it'd be tight, but on 10, 12, you could. So that's something that to look at, because you don't want to shorten your events. You don't want to do less events.
Right.
Right. You want to try to throw as many targets as possible.
Yeah. If we had more banks, Rick, we would do more 300 bird days.
Yeah.
Right. We went to 200 bird on Wednesday just because we were expecting a big turnout,
I think if you're doing, 300 on a Tuesday, 300 on a Wednesday, maybe 300 Thursday, and then go 200 Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Right.
Sunday, just do your handicap.
Because your HAA will always have a step up, right? You'll always get that next rise. So, but anyway, that's just us thinking like, hey, we want to keep this shoot here. We want to keep growing it. We think we've got a good formula. If the county steps up they got the land, they got the plans. They just need a reason, right? So if we kind of start leveraging some of this stuff, because if we did that and we ran a factor 6 in October and a factor 6 in April or May, right, and brought them 2 big shoots and filled 1,000 hotel rooms, right, then they start to pay attention to us. Now, listen, the tourism board is like, hey, we just had this concert come in, 60,000 people came. How many people are coming to your shoot? And we're like, it's different dynamics.
But listen,
it's different. But these are hardcore gamblers, people. I mean, these guys.
All you got to do is lay out the numbers from the 75th.
Yeah.
And look at event 1 on the 75th compared to event 1 of the 77th.
Yeah.
And I think it was 30 shooters to 200 or 40 shooters to 200.
We broke like 200 on the first event. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's huge.
I mean, look at like Fiocchi. Fiocchi stepped up, was a big sponsor.
That was another thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah. I wanted to definitely talk about that because when I was highlighting the sponsors, I kind of went off on a tangent, but without them, it's not possible. And for other boards out there, sorry, you're going to have to find someone to knock on the doors, or you're going to need to call me and I'll help you do it.
Exactly.
But, because there's just no other way to do it. It gets easier, but you got to bite the bullet the first couple of years and just go out with your hand out, and be like, hey, we need sponsors and we're going to do something with it. Then when they come to the shoot and they see the result, because you pulled it off and you executed, okay, the next year is easier, right?
But here's the other thing to that. I think sponsor dollars, yes, they're available, and they can get harder to get if you're not utilizing them properly. So I think at the end of the day, like if a sponsor says, I'm giving you dollars, and those dollars are going back to promotion directly to the shooter, directly into the events, directly into the buckles, directly into the stuff, that's great. I think that sponsors get a little bit upset when they donate and then they see the same old chintzy crap that they see at every other shoot, or they see the same, like if it's not
where did
done
our
right,
money go? Yeah.
Where did the money go? Like is there value? I think most trap shooters, most of them that I've talked to, value is important. It's not dollars because these people generally, I mean, they can spend the dollars. It's just, am I getting value for my dollars?
Well, one thing I didn't hear at this shoot, no one approached me, talked about, I didn't hear any complaints about the target price. And I just equate that to, we're bringing value. We brought enough value in for people to say like, oh, that this price is completely reasonable for what I'm getting out of the shoot. And 100%. I think when you step on the grounds in Vegas for the shoot, you see where the money went. You see it. Like you see the buckle displays, you see all these things, right? So you see where the money is being spent. But you have to go a little further. You have to appreciate that sponsor in a way of publicity. They are sponsoring your event because they want people to know that they're sponsoring your event, and they want that marketing and they want that visibility. So just to kind of work backwards, obviously without Ron Prescott, we all know this. I mean, listen, Ron not only helped us acquire all the silver and gold and all the stuff that we gave away, he just came in and said, hey, give away some gold at the Calcutta if the people bid on people. Okay, sounds great. You know, he wants to give us gold for next year at the 78th to get everybody to pre-squad so that we know how much food to order. And I was like, that's an amazing idea, right? Kind of like you were saying about the basin shoot, right? If you know how many people are coming, right? So
you
that
get to
kind
a
of
point
stuff.
where you have to be very efficient when these things get bigger on less traps, and you have to run like a well-oiled machine. And the only area that I think that you guys could easily pick up some time would be the hot loading. And obviously, I understand why it was the way it was, but that would be like if I was going to say, well, one thing that could give us some more time would be that. And so
the hot loading will save you. That hot loading will get you. Without doing the numbers, I'm going to guess you could probably run another 100 shooters through there.
Okay. See, and that's huge, right? On 22 traps, right? So and that's what Dale does, right? Isn't he constant hot load all
there ain't a trap
the whole event, right? Or
I mean, yes and no. I mean, his shoots. I mean, he just putting in more traps now. I just saw the video.
I saw the video. Yeah.
I don't know if he has someone in the house the whole time, but the guys that he has know how to go from one trap to the other and keep them loaded.
Right.
So
a couple of years ago, Tish and I went out there before the shoot when we were on our tour, and we made those videos with him, like training his people. He takes it. He's got it down to a science. But so hot loading is going to be really important. But just to go back to the sponsors, like we highlighted this or teased it a little bit, but Fiocchi really did step up huge, right? And we're all one family now, so we can definitely give Fiocchi their love here. But Holly Hammond all of our families really, right? CSG.
That's right.
But Holly Hammond and I have been working together for the past like 3 years, basically, right? And I came to her like a year and a half ago, and I said, Holly, I don't want a sponsorship check. I've got a really crazier idea for you. Why don't you just send me 100 flats of ammo, and I'll give everybody ammo as trophies, but I'll also give every junior and sub-junior who comes to shoot free ammo to shoot, right? I said, we'll get them hooked on Fiocchi real early. Junior, sub-junior, right? We'll get them shooting it,
Yep.
And to her credit, she just goes, I think we can make this work. And so we worked on it for a long time, and obviously industry changes, and there was an acquisition and all kinds. And through all of that, they delivered on this for us. And every junior who came through, every sub junior who came through, got 4 boxes for the handicap and 8 boxes for the singles. Right. So we took care of their ammo. Then we did ammo giveaways. We did the free Fiocchi Annie Oakley on Tuesday night, and everybody came out and shot. And Rick, you gave away, packs of Fiocchi ammo. That was a ton of fun. You have to get creative. You have to kind of, get in there with the sponsors and say, hey, if we do this, I'm going to make a big deal about it, right? So Fiocchi was huge. Ron Prescott was gigantic. Yep. And Winchester has been out here, Bill Daniels and Winchester and, Josh and Jason, all those guys over there, Robert Crow, they have always supported us, and they came through on the doubles championship and sponsored that event. So that was the HAA. So the HAA was well equipped. And then beyond that, we had local and national, not international, but national and local sponsors come in. Creative Reloading Solutions came in and did the HOA. Elite came in and did the HAA sponsorship. So you just have to work it and get them to see the value.
Valley Trucking, they came in.
Justin
Buckeye Valley Truck.
Yep.
Event number 3, All-America Doubles. I was the proud winner of that. Thank you.
Yes, and rightfully so. You have to really are going to have to leverage the sponsors if you want to do something, because the buckles aren't cheap, the food's not cheap. We actually have Carmine Romeo, who is Dakota Meats here in Vegas. They do a lot of meat supplying for the casinos, and he gave us a ton of brats and hot dogs to serve to everybody for free for lunch every day. Because here's the one thing about Vegas, the pros and cons of everything. We're in Vegas, so there's a ton of great restaurants and food. Where the club is, it sits at the top of Vegas. And there's so much going on festival-wise, concert-wise, downtown, that all the food trucks that you would want to come up to the shoot and sell... They're somewhere else because they're like, hey, there's 40,000 people on Fremont Street. We get it.
Yeah, we'll go down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to solve that. We had to solve that problem, right? So, but that's why we do the free lunches and the free dinners, is because it's more out of necessity. Now, the good news is the club or the county has just made a lease agreement with a new restaurant to come in to the clubhouse. So we think we're going to have a stable restaurant in the clubhouse. My biggest thing was figuring out we got to serve breakfast, and so this restaurant that's coming in is kind of like an Americana style thing. So if they're up there serving breakfast and we're doing lunches and dinners, I don't know how you get better for that.
It'll be great. Yeah. You don't even have to leave.
That's what we're hoping. Yeah. That's what we're hoping.
Just from the clubhouse to the trap and back out and just keep rolling, baby. It's good.
I mean, you gotta stop by Bob Taylor's and have a steak with your friends.
We did.
We did do that on Sunday, and that was a great experience.
That was awesome.
I love the nostalgia there, and I love the fact that used to be the club. Or one of the clubs down there, and
which I didn't know until Rick told me. He's like, you see that thing in the mint.
The Bob Taylor, the shoot was there. Yeah, I don't remember the whole story.
Well, Bullard told me, he says, you need to go down there because that's where the old club, because Bullard shot there.
Yeah. Rich is a lot older than we are.
Time ago. So we'll have to ask him. What the
senior
deal
vet,
is.
right? Yeah.
Rich he's going into veteran category soon, I think.
He's looking good. Don't give him too much of a hard time.
For his age, yeah.
But Trap Shooting USA has now become the official magazine of the Trap Talk podcast.
No, it's not only Trap Shooting USA now. It's Wing and Clay Life, Lady Outdoor Lifestyles, and Clay Shooting USA.
I'm just really excited because they make such a high-quality magazine. I mean, if you guys haven't had these magazines and you actually get to touch them in your hands, they've got really thick paper, they're really glossy, and they keep it really cool. I mean, I just love it.
The Traveling Gunsmith, and then in this newest episode, we have...
Oh, man. Look at those handsome guys. I love this. I love it. So we skipped over. We went into Nevada handicap for the all around. We talked about John winning. Runner up was William Daniels. I got to give a shout out to my boy.
Big Bill. Yep.
Big Bill Daniels, who's not big. He's big as in muscly strong, but he's looking.
Yeah. Big in the right way. Yeah.
Jack Wayne, got to give him a shout out because he's a sponsor and he won AAA.
Yep.
And then when we look at the out of state, it was Herbert Lewis who won out of state champion, and then runner up was Ian Lawrence on that. So everything else, the overall, Kyle Hoffmeyer won champion in state. John, you won runner up, then out of state was Joe Charnago winning champion, and then Herbert Lewis ended up winning the runner up in that. So,
Herbie and I tied for it, and I forfeited to him.
Yeah, I did see that. There's a forfeit. Mr. Richard Marshall was the AAA champion, so
Yes, he was.
it was
Yep.
it was a great shoot, guys. I mean, I don't know how much more we could say tonight, other than we covered the main winners. We covered what's going on there. 78th is going to be bigger and better. It sounds like. I don't know how, but
we're cooking up some crazy ideas. I was talking to you guys before we started about the silver distribution. Right, that we're thinking about some ideas there, because we really want those top 10 shooters on Sunday to just go to battle, right? And so every place that they win, they get more silver, more silver, more silver. So we're coming up with a structure there. I've been kind of relating it to like a poker tournament payout style, where the top 10 people are getting paid, but the closer you are to the top, the more you're getting. So we're looking at that kind of structure. I'm looking at trying to see if we can institute some of Joey Charnigo's ideas, where we're taking a piece out of the entries and matching it and creating big ceremonial checks at the end that people can get, like, hey, I won, here's my check for $5,000, so I'm trying to see what stuff we can do there. But the dinners will be back. The events will be back. The nighttime stuff will be back. And there's a rumor going around that even though we're the Silver State, it might be all gold next year. So stay tuned for that. Keep your eye on everything we're putting out. But
I never know what to expect with you guys, because every time I think I got it locked down, and then bam, there's a change. So
there it is.
You keep it salty in Nevada. I like that. But
we try.
We try. I want to give another shout out to John for his great shooting and
Yes.
all the champions,
All the
that-
shooters there.
Yeah, all the
in-state,
shooters. Yeah,
in-state, out of state. If we didn't mention your name,
Yeah.
and you won a trophy, congratulations for competing in the shoot, and congratulations for making history and being a part of.
Well, hold on.
shoot
I'm
growing.
sorry. I have to say one more thing here, because we forgot. This is a big deal.
What is
Herbert Lewis was also the Super
Super.
Nevada belt
it?
winner.
Oh, I forgot
We-
that. I
yeah,
mean,
we
he had
can't
that
forget
belt
that.
at dinner.
He loved that belt.
He had
We
that
got- hey,
thing. He looked like the Hulk
Yeah.
with that thing. He was going through the airport with it. I'm like,
see
damn,
that.
Herbie.
Yeah,
No.
we may see
Herbert
the
the
belt
Hulk
out on the line.
Lewis.
Put that in the end of this video and let
I
people
will.
see it if you're on
Yeah,
YouTube. So
I
you
will
can
for
see
sure.
Herbie all hulked up like he's like
That's
Hulk
right.
Hogan going out there to fight and battle. But I mean,
Yeah.
he shot great that week. We all had a lot.
You
of
guys
fun,
all
and there was
shot
a lot
really
of good
great,
squads,
and
it was
yeah,
a great
yeah.
time for sure.
I was super happy to see you guys take home a lot of hardware and to get into a lot of shoot-offs, and I appreciate you guys participating in those shoot-offs and getting out there. That was a ton of fun for everybody. I think next year with the new structure on the silver, maybe it'll bring even more drama, even though there was a lot of drama. Like, it was like Isaac would miss one and then Zach would let him back in, or Zach would miss one and
back
Isaac.
and forth.
It
It was
was
back and
like,
forth.
it was
No
just
one
like
wanted
this.
to win.
That's true. Hey,
They
you know
wanted
what?
it bad, but
I was just glad to be there. It was
Yeah.
history to be there, and the fact that he shot so well. I give a shout out to him. He was in
Yeah.
the middle of them, and
Yes,
a
he
fierce
was.
competitor, and
Yeah.
I had a great time enjoying it. And the journey of the 6 boxes that I was on was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot from it, and it helped me with shoot offs in the after shoots, because you learn things. You learn things every time you're out there, and you learn what you did right. What you
You know
did
what
wrong,
you learn?
analyze.
Don't miss.
Don't miss.
That's it. Plain and
It's very
simple,
simple.
folks.
Ricky makes it simple. He's see target, shoot target, easy.
No, that's
No-
you. That is you.
Hey, I don't know if you guys heard it.
you
but
invented that.
You know that Greg and I did the morning show every morning, right? I don't know if you guys caught it because you were later squads, but I put your catchphrases on the back posters on the back of all the chairs. So like on one of the days it said "see it, shoot it, follow through,"
Oh,
and then
I seen
another
it.
and then
I seen
another
it. I
day.
seen
the one.
I
Yeah,
said these guys
yeah.
are dinguses, but
And
I
then
love them.
I put Zach's on there, like see target, shoot target,
Yeah. I
put
see
yours-
target, I shoot target.
Yeah,
It worked.
yeah,
It worked.
yeah,
You have to do
yeah.
that every once
Yeah,
in a while.
I put those on the posters for the back of the chairs out there, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, we all kind of got here together, but I appreciate you guys, validating the shoot and repping the shoot
absolutely.
and coming out to the shoot. It meant the world to me to have both of you there. So it was so cool to just have everybody there. And we had, a lot of other great shooters come through. Sean Hawley came in from Utah and Harlan came in, and it was, and Herbie came
There was
back.
a
and it was-
hodgepodge of all the greatest shooters in the country
Yeah.
that showed up at this shoot.
It
and
was
I'm
pretty cool.
excited to
Yeah.
see more
Yeah.
show up, because I know there's
That's
going
right.
to be even more next year that come to this
So
shoot.
get it on
because
your calendar.
Get it.
Put it on your
78.
calendar, guys.
Don't
Yeah,
miss
it's,
Show
out.
out, eat lunch, eat
26th
dinner, play the money, shoot.
Yeah, 26th through the 1st. October 26th through November 1st. That is the dates as it's looking right now. So, yeah, but it was a ton of fun and a lot of work, but a ton of fun. But, yeah, it was awesome having you guys out there. So I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you, John, for coming on and recapping with us. You know, we wanted to have you part of it because obviously you've been involved since day one and building it the way it is, and we appreciate you going on this journey with us together and doing it all and helping make trap great again. So here, you know, we got one shoot fixed and we're working on other ones, but
we're working on them all, baby.
We're working on fixing everything we can do and you know,
knocking them down one at a time.
And hey, you know, if there's haters gonna hate, but we're out here doing it. You know, we're out here doing it. So you can't hate winners. You know, you can't hate on that. So we're just doing it.
Okay.
Listen,
and with
the famous words of Zach Nannini.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. You just gotta keep doing it, baby.
Well, thanks,
with that
guys.
being said, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you all next Friday. Keep listening, like, share, subscribe, comment, send in whatever you want us to do because we'll do it. We love it, and we're not going anywhere, folks. So stay tuned and keep shooting straight. Thank you for listening.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.